Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Andre and I'm your bookworm. And today we do not have a book review. We also don't have a book chat. What we're going to have is a tour of these bookshelves and one more that is not showing here. So there's not much to talk about. I'm just going to show what books I have because some of you have asked for quite a while and I thought this would be the time to showcase these beauties that are around here. So let's get on. There's going to be 4 shelves. We'll go one by one and yeah, there's not much to say. Let's go. All right, let's get this started. So the first shelf is usually just special editions and broken binding books that I got. As you can see here, we have Ted Williams, Dragonbone Chair, Stone of Farewell that was reviewed recently. We have Hyperion, which there will be some videos talking about this pretty soon, so keep an eye out. We have Brian McClellan, The Promise of Blood, and the whole Potter Mage trilogy. We have Raymond D. Fikes, which are amazing books. I love these books and the covers of them, and I think the edges are just amazing. You can see here, this cover is brutally epic. It's so cool. Anyways, then we have RJ Barker here with this series that was a surprise. I didn't expect to like as much as I did. The Bone Shift is the first book. Then we have just the first book of Locke Lamora, so The Lies of Locke Lamora. That is because I have the second one to review here on the channel, and I'm currently rereading the third one. So that's why they're not on the shelf. They're usually around here. And then this is Fondeli's Jade trilogy, Jade City, Jade War, Jade Legacy, which I really like the edges as well. I know that they're not usually the most representative of the story, but I like how they turned out. Then here on the middle one, we have my precious beauties here. We have a lot of Dragon Steel books, as you can see. We have The Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, the Mistborn trilogy, Warbreaker. All of these were gifts that were given to me, which I'm so appreciative, and I am really thankful to everyone that has contributed to these. Then we have special editions that were from Kickstarters that I actually bought, and we have The Dandelion Dynasty by Ken Liu. Then on this side, we have more broken binding. We have the Northern Wrath trilogy, which I cannot remember the name of the author because she has a weird name, which is Till the Cold Hold. Northern Wrath is the first book. They're pretty cool as well. I love the edges. Then we have Samantha Shannon's Priory of the Orange Tree, which has the first one and then a prequel, and I have the third one to read. We have The Three-Body Problem by Cixin Liu. Amazing science fiction. I definitely 100% always recommend these. Then we have The Sun Eater, which I have the first 2 here. I am currently reading the third one, Demon in White. So there's that. I think actually the other covers or the other dust jackets are cooler, so I might change those. Then we have Andy Weir's 3 books, which are The Martian, Artemis, and Project Hail Mary, and we have the children's series, which I've shown recently here on the channel. Then moving on a bit lower, we have a miscellaneous collection of books. As you can see here, they range quite a bit. Most of this is science fiction, but there's a bit of fantasy. We have The Rise of Kyoshi, which I've read here on the channel. These I've also read here. Book of Dasith from Philip Pullman. I have read the first one. I never picked up the rest, but of course I read the original Golden Compass trilogy. This book is kind of a side story of The Three-Body Problem, and it was really good. Neil Stephenson, Seven Eves. I love this book, at least the first 2/3 of it. Then the third part, I thought it was a bit weird. We have Peter F. Hamilton. I love these books. If you've been here on the channel, you know that I really liked the first one, Pandora Star. It gave a really good score. Definitely recommended. Ancillary Trilogy by N. Leckie, winner of Nebula and Locus Award, if I'm not mistaken. They are quite innovative for the time they were published. I don't know how they fare nowadays. Maybe I should do a reread of these. Anyways, This Is How You Lose the Time War. This was really famous a few years ago. I really liked it. I think it's very poetic. It's one of those cases where writing style is definitely one of the main categories that you should pay attention to. The Children of Men is a book that I actually did not enjoy. I read with a friend because we were doing this book club where we would read one book that each one would choose at a time, and this was his choice. I kept it because I really liked that book club, but I didn't really enjoy this book. Aurora, I've read here on the channel. You can check out the review. Neil Gaiman, American Gods. This is the only Neil Gaiman book I have, mostly because I saw the TV show and I liked it, so I decided to read it. This trilogy by Robert Jackson Bennett, I really enjoyed it. I've been recommended more Robert Jackson Bennett, and I think this is a must that I need to pick up. Then we have Mary Robinette Kowal with the Lady Astronaut series. I only have the first 2. I should finish it because I think there's only one more book and it's kind of missing here. And the Gideon series by Tamsin Weir, I've only read these three. I actually don't know if it has been released the rest, but it was okay. I actually have a very unpopular opinion because I didn't like these books very much. So a lot of people are quite against that. Moving on here, this is my Wheel of Time shelf. As you can see, we have the 15 books, which includes the prequel. And then these two are books that I really enjoyed by the difference that they have. There's nothing quite like it. This is The Wind-Up Girl by Paolo Zigalupi. It won the Nebula, if I'm not mistaken. It has solar punk. It's cool. Then we have Exhalation, which is a bunch of short stories by Ted Chiang. Moving on here, we have, actually, I think these were the first books I ever reviewed here on the channel. The videos are horrendous, so do not watch those unless you're really, really keen to see what I think about them. But I really enjoyed them. I think the first one was my favorite. However, this one did have some plot twists that a lot of people are against, but I actually defend them. And then here, Jen Williams. This trilogy was also very famous a couple of years ago. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the world building. I think it's quite original, and I need to read more by her as well. Then we have some more special editions from Broken Binding. As you can see here, these are Adrian Tchaikovsky, which is the author of the children's series. These are 6 out of 10, and the rest will eventually come here. Mask of Mirrors, reviewed recently. This is Doomsday Book, as you can see here. It was okay. It's a good science fiction, but it also is a bit of a historical fiction. So it's a bit of a mixture that I particularly don't read much, but I think it was still well done. And this is Malazan, the first 2 books I have finished yesterday. The 3rd book, I will also post a review about it, so keep an eye out. And now we move on to manga. This is my manga shelf. As you can see, a lot of One Piece. These volumes are up because I have this little 3D printed elevated part thing, whatever it's called, that elevates them, and that way you can see 2 levels of the manga. And then we have more manga by One Piece. Eventually, it runs into Magi, which is another series that I have started reading. I haven't finished. And then Attack on Titan, same thing. I basically was reading these 2 when I decided to read One Piece. And so I finished first what I had of One Piece, and then I will continue these. Now we have a few more books. R.F. Kuang, which are these 4 books here. This trilogy is cool. This one has a lot of potential, but there's also a bit of flaws here and there, but I still think that is quite strong as it is. And we have my Teddy Pratchett books that I've read so far. All of these have been reviewed on the channel. You can check them out here with thumbnails and all just following through on the channel. And then we have more books. First more mangas, but these are special editions of Full Metal Alchemist. We have some science fiction with Kim Stanley Robinson again, the same author as Aurora. This is the Mars series, Mars trilogy as it's called. Very cool in the way they basically talk about aging, memory, and companionship. It's really, really cool. Mark Lawrence. I have a mostly hate relationship for this trilogy. I really did not enjoy it, and a lot of my friends say, please read other books by him because they are so much better. So I definitely need to do that. Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. This is good. I need to continue the series. I don't know why I haven't picked up more of them. Then we have Stephen King's The Dark Tower series. These are the only Stephen King books I've read. I really love the series because of the whole story, as the story overall. There are some volumes here that I did not like whatsoever, but I think going from the start to the end is an amazing journey that you should definitely experience. And then we have the John Gwynne series, Malice, Valor, Ruin, and Wrath. This was okay. I can see a lot of the inspiration that this series got, and I'm curious to read more from the author. But as it stands, I thought it was a good series, but not something that I really rave about. And moving on, these are a bunch of incomplete or series that I have, or things that I just have mixed matched edition. So you have Legends and Lattes, which I've reviewed here on the channel. This is another manga that I only have the first volume and I need to continue. Then we have The Expanse, which I've read all 9 books. They're an okay series. I really liked some of the characters, but I actually think some of the TV show characters were better than the actual books. So that's probably also an unpopular opinion. We have Christopher Paolini, the author of Eragon, but this is his science fiction book. We have The Shadow of What Was Lost, which I reviewed recently. We have an amazing book called How High We Go in the Dark, which is very sad and hard to take at times, but it's definitely worth reading. Then we have Ken Liu with some short stories, the Scythe trilogy, which I really enjoyed. This is a young adult series, but I think the themes that it explores and the story itself is actually quite cool. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun to read. Circe and the Song of Achilles are books that were really cool to read as well, but they are more of retelling of mythical stories. So in this case of Circe or of Achilles. And then we have David Gamel. I have only some of the books here because the rest are not in this house, but in Portugal. But I really like David Gamel, especially the first book, Legend, which is an amazing telling of a siege story. Moving on to the last part of these shelves, we have Of Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill. I definitely need to continue the series, but I will need to find better editions because they've changed, and I think the new editions are better, so I just need to take care of that. China Mieville, I keep mentioning these books to people, and I definitely think you should all read some China Mieville. It's weird, it's complex, but it's also really, really good. Especially, like I say, Perdido Street Station and London. I think those are probably some of the best. The City in the City, quite complex, quite confusing, but also deserves a read. Then we have TJ Klune, some of the cozy reads. We have N.K. Jemisin, which I also mention a lot, and her Broken Earth series. I definitely recommend. We have Marie Brennan's Natural History of Dragons, which I really liked by the illustrations. The story is okay. The world building, amazing. I think that's the shining gem of that series. And then moving just spiral away, we have also some Gene Wolfe books of the New Sun, which was weird to read, but I think it's cool as well. They're quite good for their time. And then The Last House on Needless Street, which is a horror book I've reviewed here on the channel. We have The 10,000 Doors of January, which is a good book. I was expecting a bit more, but I think it's a good adventure. And of course, the themes explored definitely deserve to be read. And then we have Arcady Martin with a memory called Empire. That was a good world building as well, but the story itself, I was a bit meh about it, which is an unpopular opinion, but I understand completely why people loved it so much. And that is pretty much it. Of course, I have more shelves, but these are pretty much my to-be-read list, or to-be-read pile, I should say. There's a bunch of broken binding books, and then here and there, just a couple that I'm gifted that are not really broken binding. So that is it for the background that you see, usually. And let's get on for the last shelf, which is not visible here. All right, now for the last shelf, which is what I call the visitor's shelf, because this is pretty much all they see. We have here the subtle art of not giving a F, and I'm not going to say that because YouTube, and then everything is F. We have Princess Bride, which is a classic that people definitely need to read. We have Blackout, which is by Connie Willis, the same author as Doomsday Book. That is because this is the follow-up to Doomsday Book. Then we have all my Brandon Sanderson books that I bought before I had any special editions. Some of these are signed by Brandon because he visited and I got them signed, of course. And then we have here a miscellaneous combination of books. This is The Little Prince, which was bought from a bookshop in Portugal that you probably have heard about, which is the one that Harry Potter was filmed in Porto. We have a book about a tech talk, Follow Your Gut, because science. Then we have The Perks of Being a Wallflower, The 5 Love Languages, The Final Cut, which is a book about circumcision. Then we have a book about anime, and this is a graphic novel about the Wandering Earth, which is written by Cixin Liu as well, the same author as The Three Body Problem. On this side, we have the Hyperion series, which is here, the books that I bought a long time ago. We have Doomsday Book, the original edition, and To Say Nothing of the Dog, which is also the continuation of Doomsday Book. So it's 1, 2, and then Blackout 3. We have here Handmaid's Tale, which is another classic that everyone should read. A Little Life. This is probably the most traumatizing book I've ever read, and I definitely vouch by it that people should read it, or maybe not should, but definitely give it a read if you have the mental space, because this will be a very tough book to get through. Then we have Game of Thrones, this edition, and we have this thing that I built, as you can see me here, pretty much a little library inside with books and everything like that. And the last shelf, we have the Wolf of Lorien Yarrow series. that I did not enjoy. If you've seen my reviews here on the channel, you know about this. We have the Witcher series, which I also thought it was not that great compared to the game, I guess, because the TV show was also not that great. And we have here the Lemony Snicket series, and then two illustration books, one about flowers and one about Pokemon. This is called Pokenatomy. The book is a bit old and ruined, but yeah, that is about it. Hope you enjoyed and see you soon. All right, and that was pretty much it. All the books that I currently own. Of course, there's always more coming, but if you really liked a special edition or an author in specific that you reckon I should read more of, please comment down below. I'm more than happy to always take more suggestions and add stuff to my wish list that just keeps on growing. But it's always a good sign, right? So yeah, and if you're new, don't forget, subscribe, like the content, and you shall be seeing me on Thursdays and Sundays again. See you soon.